In this video, I'm going to show you what's new in the June update of Home Assistant. In case you're not aware, earlier this year, Home Assistant changed the way they release updates. They are now released once per calendar month and named by the year and month in which they're delivered. So the June update is the 2021.6 update because June is the 6th month. Let's take a look at what's new.
Hey home automation guy. Start the show.
When it comes to new Big Bang features, this isn't as exciting a release as the one last May. However, they still managed to pack quite a bit of small enhancements into this release. The first one in the release announcement is better support for dark mode themes. Dark mode is just an easier way to view the user interface when it's nighttime because it makes everything look blacker. You can see the difference on the screenshots here. This update just makes it easier for people to create new dark mode themes. The next item in the update is another user experience update, where it now can hide some of the extra attributes an entity may show you. In my own Home Assistant, I use this quite frequently now because I've got quite a few entities that expose a lot of information, and I don't always need it cluttering up my UI. Here you can see the attributes are hidden beneath this slider, and you need to scroll down to view all of the extra information. A couple of releases ago, the Home Assistant team allowed people to choose their type of number formatting. In this release, you can now also choose your time formatting, whether it's your system locale time, AM/PM, or 24-hour format. You can change this setting in your user profile by clicking on your name in the bottom left of the Home Assistant navigation menu. In that area, you should see a new item where you can choose the time format. You can also tell integrations to stop polling automatically for updates. For example, if they use an API that costs money every time you access it, or if you have a battery-powered device that you don't care about what's going on when you're asleep. If you disable this automatic polling, you'll need to create an automation that does it at a time that works for you. There's now an area in the configuration section that helps you tell Home Assistant about your network. This will make it better for things that use multicast traffic like Chromecasts or Sonoses to be able to discover your Home Assistant. To make changes to the network area, you go to the General Configuration area, scroll down a bit, and you'll see the new Network section. This feature is probably only useful for people like me with advanced home networking setups. I actually run two networks in my house, or VLANs. I have a separate network for my home automation devices or IoT devices, and another network for my normal devices like my laptop or my mobile phone. By separating these two networks, I increase the security, privacy, and performance of my Wi-Fi. I'm actually going to be doing a video about this in the future, so if you'd like to know more about how and why I set this up, click the subscribe button and you'll be notified when that video is released. This update comes with a ton of new integrations as well, so if you're using any of these systems at home, then you should be able to integrate them directly to Home Assistant. As always, there are a ton of other noteworthy changes as part of this release. I'm not going to go through them all in this video, and I suggest you go to the release notes, which I've linked down in the description, and scroll through these yourself. Take a look through the list to see if there's any integrations or features you normally use in Home Assistant to see if there's anything new for you. While you're there, I suggest you take a look at the list of breaking changes that are part of this release and see if any of the integrations that you use are included in that list. Sometimes the developers change the way that an integration behaves or the way that it reports data, such as this integration with HomeKit. It is now reporting temperatures in a different way. Instead of using whole numbers like it was in the past, it is now going to be using increments of 1 decimal place. So if you previously had an automation that was triggered when the temperature in a room got to 20 degrees, it may no longer trigger properly because the temperature may be reported as 20.2 degrees, 20.3 degrees. So you need to take a look at this list, see if there are any changes to the integrations that you're using, and update your automations accordingly. And finally, the Home Assistant developers have invested a lot of time and energy into making the whole platform more accessible to normal people, rather than nerds like me. In the old days, you used to have to set up most integrations through the configuration.yaml file, which was a bit daunting for a lot of entry-level users. You can now use the UI to configure a lot of these new integrations. As part of this, Home Assistant is importing any configuration that you have in your YAML file into the UI. And you can now go and do some spring cleaning in those configuration.yaml files and get rid of any lines that relate to integrations that are controlled by the UI. If you want to make changes to the configuration of any of these integrations going forward, you can do that directly from the user interface or the mobile app. If you're using the Home Assistant operating system on a Raspberry Pi or similar device, you can install this update by going to the Supervisor section and just clicking the Update button. I always recommend that you take a snapshot before you do this, so you can roll back to the previous version if something goes wrong with the upgrade. Now make a cup of tea, this could take a while. Once the update is installed and you've restarted Home Assistant, you can validate the version that you're now running through the System area of the Supervisor. You can also go to the Info area of the General Configuration section and validate the version there. There we have it, another great release from the Home Assistant team. They've actually left us a little bit of a teaser in the blog post, hinting at a big new feature coming in the next version. Do you have any idea what that might be? Why not let us know in the comments below and we'll see if you're right next release. I'll be doing a video like this every time Home Assistant releases a new update, alongside my regular content about automations and smart devices. If you found this video useful, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos that I'm creating, click the subscribe button and together we can make your home smarter.